Hi everyone, Marian here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a first trimester of pregnancy update for you guys. I am now just into my second trimester of pregnancy and I also have a 2-year-old little boy, so I want to share the experience with you guys about what it's like. I also was working full-time at the beginning of this pregnancy and now I'm working part-time at home, so I wanted to share a little bit about what that's been like also. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Marian. I make videos about being a Jewish mom, minimalism with kids, so hit that thumbs up button if you like this video and don't forget to subscribe to my channel down below to see more. Okay, so I took some notes so I wouldn't forget anything. This is probably going to be a long video, so get your cup of tea, your coffee, sit back, relax, and enjoy all the terrible things I have to tell you about what it was like being pregnant this time around. So first, I just want to put this big caveat out there that I know some people have it way worse and some people have it way better. There's such a range of pregnancy. Although I had a really hard experience with first trimester pregnancy this time around, I was always very, of course, thankful and appreciative to be able to have gotten pregnant. I know a lot of people struggle with that. I personally know people who are going through it now. So, of course, nothing that I'm saying now negates the fact that I was thankful to be pregnant. So just want to get that out there. So I kind of wanted to tell you guys just kind of chronologically what everything was like. So I took a pregnancy test after coming back from that road trip me and my husband and son took to California at the end of June. And I took it when I was just, I think, 4 weeks pregnant or 5 weeks, like right when my period should have come, or maybe a day or two later. I got the positive pregnancy test and we were really excited. I actually do have footage of that, but I've lost the memory card. So hopefully I will find it and be able to make a video about finding out I was pregnant. Anyway, so the next week I started getting exhausted. I mean, like so tired. It was the July 4th weekend. We had people over. We were hosting family. We were hosting a barbecue, and I was just like dead. I just couldn't function. And things got progressively worse from then. That next weekend we went to go visit a friend in Boston, and this was like our yearly summer trip that we always love and have so much fun. We were like really looking forward to it, and I literally could not get out of bed. Like literally, I was in bed that whole weekend and just miserable, like more nauseous than I'd ever been in my life. And it hit pretty suddenly. Like on the plane ride over, I was okay. I was just kind of tired. By the next day waking up there, I was just dead. I couldn't do anything. And then on the flight back, I didn't think I would be able to fly back. Honestly, I felt so sick. And I was like hunched over in my seat, like basically crying. And the flight attendant was like, are you pregnant? And I was like, what? Because at this point I'm like 5 weeks pregnant, and she's like, I used to be a labor and delivery nurse, and she had all these like really good tips for me, and I am gonna make a tips for struggling with first trimester morning sickness for you guys. But she was just so nice, and it really touched me. It's like when you're feeling so horrible, when someone like is just kind to you, like a stranger like that, it just really just made the day for me. Anyways, so yes, after throwing up on that flight and all weekend long, I was just so beyond exhausted. I was like, I'm not gonna be able to work another day. Like, I just can't do this. But I did go back to work, and I basically survived those next few weeks. I ended up telling my boss that I was pregnant because I didn't want her to think that I was just like slacking off. I was just honest with her and said, like, this is what's going on. I'm having a really hard first trimester. I'm gonna do everything I can, you know, to get as much work done. But it's just really hard for me. And basically I was from week 6 until about week 16, I was nauseous all day. Like from the second I was conscious in the morning until I passed out at night. And for anyone who has not experienced this, I've been describing it as if you've ever had the stomach flu, there's a few minutes before you like really have to throw up. And you're kind of in that zone of like, you're just really uncomfortable and you're like, I think I should just throw up to feel better, but I don't really want to throw up. Like, it's that uncomfortable in between like queasiness feeling. So it's not the point where you're like, oh my God, I'm running to the bathroom, but it's at that point where you're just like, I feel so horrible right now. I think I'm gonna have to throw up. But imagine having that the entire day for weeks on end. So I just want to be honest, and like, this is what it was like. This is what I experienced. It was horrific. I was extremely depressed during this time because I just wasn't sure when it would end. So that's what really like played with my mind, is like, what if it's like this for 40 weeks? Like, I just can't survive it. It's just too hard. And not knowing like that when that end date would come was really, really hard. And I also was feeling just like I was missing out on life. I was missing out on things with my son. I was missing out on social things with my friends, and just like literally doing anything. I mean, I filmed, I think, like 3 YouTube videos that whole month, which is, you know, my favorite thing to do is film videos for this channel, and I just couldn't even sit in front of the camera and talk. Looking at screens made me nauseous, so I couldn't watch Netflix or anything, you know, like activities that normally would just like make me feel better to lie around in bed were just not helping. So of course, because I really had struggled looking at screens, working was really, really hard, and I would just kind of do like 20 minutes on and then take a break because I didn't want to like throw up in the middle of the office. But yeah, so I just basically ate a lot. At any time I was physically eating, I felt okay. And I know that's a really strange concept for people who haven't experienced morning sickness, but a lot of people do share similar things. So if you're like eating crackers or something, you know, bland, just exactly when you're eating, you're doing okay. When you stop eating, you're not. So I also put on a ton of weight really quickly, and that's happened throughout all my pregnancy, so I knew to expect that, and I'm not too concerned about it because I just know that's the only way I survive first trimester. It sucks. I hate being like larger than my body normally is, and it makes pregnancy 10 times more uncomfortable, and it's not good for you, but it was just the only way I could get through those weeks. So that was hard also. And then around the house, my husband just did literally everything. I mean, I was a blob. I was just a blob on the couch. Like, I could not do anything. I didn't cook a single thing. I didn't clean anything. I did hang out with my son. Being with my son sometimes was helpful because you're so in the moment with little kids. Like, you can't really spend time thinking too much because you're just right there interacting with them. So I did enjoy being with my son, but I still was not able to, you know, be anywhere near the mom that I like to think that I am normally. So that was also really hard. I also felt a lot of jealousy at this time, which contributed to like being depressed about everything. I don't know if this like, I don't know how other people deal with this kind of thing, but you know, just being on social media and stuff, it seemed like everyone else who I knew was pregnant was just like enjoying their pregnancy so much. So obviously I know this isn't true and tons of people had morning sickness, but I would just see things like people going to their baby showers or, you know, gender reveal things. I would just like be so jealous that they could just be happy during pregnancy. Like, that was all I wanted, because all I wanted was to be pregnant. I loved the idea of being pregnant and the idea of having a baby. It's like, to me, like, that should be the most joyous time in your life. But because I was feeling so sick and terrible, I couldn't enjoy it. Like, even though I wanted this so badly, I just could not be happy. And that was like a really frustrating feeling, because it's like everything I ever wanted, but I couldn't enjoy it. And that was really hard. So around 8 weeks, things got really, really bad, and I was very, very weak. I was just throwing up a lot and just constantly nauseous, and I decided to try acupuncture because at that point I was like, I don't care, I'll try anything. So I tried it. The woman I had was really, really nice and very like sympathetic to what I was going through, and she told me that this would be my hardest day, and after this it would get better and I would never be at this low point again. And honestly, she was right. So that I never reached that low again. Immediately after the acupuncture, I felt really strong and really hungry, and I had the best day of like the whole pregnancy. I felt fantastic. But by the next day, I kind of felt bad again. Not as bad, but pretty bad. So I didn't go back to acupuncture, but the main reason I didn't go back is that it's just really freaking expensive where I live. So that session cost, I want to say $250, somewhere around that number. Like super, super expensive. So it was just not something I was gonna do, you know, multiple times a week or however much I needed to do it to make it actually improve. It just, yeah, it was just too expensive. So I guess if I had gotten to that low point again, I probably would have gone back. But thankfully, I was a little bit better after that. Not by much, but enough that I felt like I could make it without going back. Also, I did not take any nausea relief medication, and I'll get into that in another video where I talk about like my past pregnancies and losses and things like that. But I just tried to have as much of a natural experience as possible. So like I stay away from like any chemicals, medicines, etc., etc. A lot of that is just my own like craziness and trying to exert control in a situation where you really don't have any. But I'll get into that in another video. But yeah, whatever I do, I will get through this without taking medicine, and that was kind of my goal. So I powered through. But honestly, I just took it one day at a time, even sometimes 1 hour at a time. I would just say like, okay, I just survived this hour, I can get through 1 more hour, and then I'll see. So that was kind of the mindset I used. In the morning when I start to feel sick, I would say, it's not gonna be worse than yesterday, and I survived yesterday. So I know this all sounds really dramatic, and now I'm feeling much, much better, and I'm like, oh, that wasn't so bad. But it was. It honestly was really bad, and I just think it's really important for women to share their experiences and stories, because I think that in general, like in the world, there's not that much sympathy and understanding for what women go through. They're expected to, you know, perform their jobs full time without any, you know, decrease in productivity, etc. And I think there's just this lack of understanding of what some people have to go through, and it's almost like a joke, especially in film and TV. It's like morning sickness is used as like a humorous thing, but in my experience, it's not. So I guess this is just my little part in putting that story out there, and so that other women going through this know that they're not alone, because that again was really hard for me, looking around and thinking everyone else is having this fantastic time. It's so unfair that I'm struggling. Just to know that there are, of course, other people struggling too. So around 14 weeks, things got a little bit better. It was so gradual that there wasn't like a date or even a week where I would say like, oh, it's definitely better this week. It would just be, I would have like a good evening or a good morning, and then slowly I would have more good mornings in a row. So it was really hard to measure and like figure out if I was actually getting better, because then I would have bad days and bad moments, but slowly more good days and hours were adding up. And I would say probably around 14-15 weeks, I was finally feeling like myself again, mostly in energy wise. Like just having that energy back was amazing. Even though I was still nauseous, at least I wasn't like passing out all the time. I was like had some energy back, and that felt really good to me because it felt like I wasn't missing out on life as much. I wasn't sleeping all day, and yeah, it was just much better. I also discovered eating mints around, I think maybe 12-13 weeks. I don't know why I hadn't tried this before, because I had literally tried everything. I mean, ginger tea, everything. But I started chewing gum, and it really, really helped. I was probably chewing too much gum. This is like one thing I do feel bad about, but the only thing I could do to survive was to chew gum all day. So that really helped. And now I'm at a point where I just need to chew gum like maybe 3 to 5 times a day. So there's certain hours in the day where I know I'm not gonna feel good. They're usually after meals, not like right after, but like sort of maybe an hour after I've eaten a meal, I'll start to get nauseous again, and then I'll have a piece of gum or a mint, and I'm okay. So by now, I'm now at 18 weeks, and I'm feeling so much better. Not like my pre-pregnant self, but just I have really good energy levels now, and like I said, I'm only nauseous a few times a day, and it's not like a bad nausea, it's more just like an uncomfortable feeling that I know a mint or gum will fix. So that's all. That's my tell the truth about what the first trimester has been like for me. Oh, I also want to give you guys a bump update for anyone who's curious. I look enormous, I know, but yeah, this is my 3rd pregnancy, and I'll talk about this in another video, but I've basically been pregnant like 3 out of the past 4 years. So my stomach has not had a chance to get back to its normal fit self. It's been a while. But yes, I would say I probably look about like, I don't know, over 20 weeks, but Yeah, so yeah, that's my first trimester update for you guys. Thank you for listening to me. Anyone who made it this far, let me know by giving a pink heart emoji. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel down below to see more. And I'll see you next time. Bye!